Good afternoon, everyone. It's 5/15/2019. I wanted to come on today and do an update on the Middle East tensions that are growing. We started out a few days ago in this past week with the carrier group going into the Persian Gulf, and then they sent some B-52 bombers to Qatar and also to Southwest Asia. And the Pentagon is sending Patriot anti-missile battery also to Israel. And Israeli minister warned Tehran could strike Israel. Of course, just yesterday we had the drone attacks from Iran onto Saudi Arabia's some of their oil tankers. So it's closer from the Iranian border to Israel, way closer than it is to Saudi Arabia. So it seems like they could use some of those drones on against Israel, and they probably have that planned. And could they attach, larger, more powerful bombs or something onto those things than they used in Saudi Arabia? One wonders. It seems like that they know something that we don't know, because like people have commented, their army over there seems pretty confident and pretty bold in the way they're talking right now about going to war with the U.S. and Israel. They seem to be pretty confident that they can do some serious damage. Israel prepared to invade Gaza and Syria, challenged them to do so. They were showing bodies of children killed in the airstrikes in Gaza on that last Sunday. 9 people were killed, and the Pentagon was preparing for massive deployment of troops. And then there were the drone strikes on the tankers in Saudi Arabia. And then recently, just today, in our last 24 hours, there was a report that Iran was transferring 1,500 Iraqi troops to Damascus right now, which leads some people to believe that Isaiah 17 is going to be fulfilled very soon, which is Isaiah 17, verse 1, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. And that could be part of the Psalm 83 war, which then leads to the Ezekiel 38, 39 war, because all of those things seem to be aligning and shaping up right now. And all of this ahead of the peace plan, which they're supposed to disclose that right after Ramadan, which I think ends on June 5th. So that would mean any time after June 5th, and that first or second week of June, we should be hearing from that on that. And one wonders, if this thing between Iran and the United States has got something to do with trying to get Iran in line ahead of disclosing the peace plan so that they can intimidate them into accepting the peace plan because they're resistant to it. But actually it seems to be like it's going to be working in the reverse or something, because obviously if you were at war with another country at the time they negotiate a peace plan, well, obviously they're not going to get Iran to come on board. And they really need Iran. They need all of those countries around there to come on board and sign on to it. So it seems to be like counterproductive for all of this stuff to be happening just ahead of the announcement of a peace plan. It kind of like is hard to understand. The last thing that the Lord gave me, though, was especially, and I feel very strongly about this, and I'm sure that when I mention it to you, a lot of other people are going to agree about Babylon falling soon. And I was given Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So it's like I feel like a trap is being set for Babylon right now. That they're being led into a trap, and this thing that's happening with the United States and Iran could be the phase one of it. This could all be planned. On the other side, not only on you would think our side, yeah, maybe planning because they've got something in mind that they're going to try to pull off. But I think this thing might backfire on us, and I'm getting the impression that there's some, surprise things that they have in Iran that maybe we don't know anything about. It's going to be the unexpected elements and stuff that are going to, offset things and upset things and stuff. And people are going to be blindsided. And what happens, the things that are coming, and what happens is they're just going to come out of the blue. What's going to happen is going to be things that nobody would have expected to happen. And so the world is going to be shocked by some of the stuff that's about ready to happen that nobody would have thought was going to happen. The unexpected. I think I did a video on that last year about shocking judgments coming. Well, shocking judgments are coming to Babylon. And I think that they are going to be attacked on multiple fronts and overtaken, overwhelmed. And there's just going to be too much force against them for them to come out on top. Also, the Lord gave me Jeremiah 50:23 and 24, so I'm going to read that right now. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation amongst the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. Why? Because they're going to divide up the land? Is that what's part of that peace plan? Is that why the judgment's going to come against Babylon? The judgment mentioned in Jeremiah 50? We'll see, brothers and sisters. But I would suggest be watching and looking up, because your redemption is just about to draw nigh. Things are just about up. Thanks for tuning in. God bless everyone.